Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 331. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace, and in this show, we have a Tasmanian Tiger review, so I'm not sure if that's like Tiger King or Queen or whatever that show's called. We talk about some binary triggers, some 80% frame, and a new target. And of course, with me tonight are the usual co-hosts, Tony, Zane, and Rob. So, what did you guys do in guns?
Well, anybody who follows me on Instagram knows I did some arts and crafts this weekend.
Arts and crafts?
Yeah, whatever you call that stuff. I made a patch wall, not a patch wall, but a thing to hang my patches with. I put
patch
pictures
wall,
of it on Instagram.
Patch wall, patch frame, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Not too bad, you know.
Sweet. And it was Independence Day, so, you know.
Well, I was on call this weekend, so I really couldn't go out and do stuff. I got to call over the holidays, so it's like whatever, you know.
Right.
So I just figured I'd stick around, tidy up the house, and do some, you know, make some stuff I can.
Some arts and crafts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha. So what about you, Zane?
I taught a concealed weapons class this week. Had six women in the class, 5 of which had never touched a handgun before in their life. So that was interesting. By the end of the day, though, everyone was holding the group pretty decently. I posted a picture of it on Instagram. And then I've tried to shoot a drill afterwards, and it just wasn't a shooting day for me. I wasn't doing so hot. We just put the pistols away and went home after that.
It was just
one of those days. I was trying to do the 10, 10, and 10 drill, or it's also referred to as, I believe, the test by Ken Hackathorn, and just wasn't working. Yeah, I was putting rounds in the 7 ring, and from 10 yards, there's no reason to be putting rounds in the 7 ring. So I'm like, all right, we're done.
Oh, so you were shooting like I do every day?
Well, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Combat accuracy.
That's what I call it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Combat accuracy.
Yeah, gotcha. Tony?
Well, I told you about the build I did. That was the 9mm build. But what I did this weekend was take advantage of some of the 4th of July sales to purchase stuff for the Patreons.
Awesome.
So that's what I did. I got some pretty cool stuff. We picked up the Ruger knife, one of the Rugers from Columbia River Knife and Tool. Remember they came out with that series in cooperation with Ruger? I picked up one of those. I picked up a Spyderco Tenacious, and Spyderco Tenacious, that, and some load-bearing gear from Gray Ghost Gear.
Woo-hoo.
Some pretty cool stuff from there. So yeah, we're gonna have some interesting giveaways. I try to do purchases during sales, so I can give it to the patrons, and you know, most bang for the buck when it comes to the purchases, and give you stuff too.
That's the way to do it. Well,
Wait. I thought you got all your stuff for free 99.
I work at that. That's my ultimate goal, is to get everything for free 99, as long as there's no strings attached. I'm not giving you a good review because you gave me gear. Screw you.
So, yeah, well, you know, you guys all did something. Well, I really didn't do much because I had grand plans, and then, of course, I wasn't feeling great. And
Life happens.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling great. Life happened. So I was literally pretty much out this weekend, laying on the couch doing nothing. I did get a True Blue gun lube patch they sent me. It kind of surprised me. It just showed up in the mail. I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. They sent me one. But besides that, yeah, I literally, because I couldn't really feel like I could, you know, move around much.
Right,
I did a review. So that's what you guys get today. Woohoo. So we'll get into the announcements. I did mail out some prizes for some of the winners. I'm waiting to hear back for some other people.
So when do I get my barrel?
I think Let's see. Depending on which one you wanted, it went to either Colorado or New York.
They can have those in New York.
Well, yeah, because it's a built-in compensator
Uh,
and it's 16 inches. So.
wait a minute,
yeah.
Tony. What are you smoking tonight, my friend?
Yeah.
My father's. Another my father's.
Okay, those are good sticks.
Yeah,
I already
man.
have my cigar, and I don't smoke in the house, so.
I smoke in the house because it annoys my wife.
That's a good reason. So, if you would like to support us, you can go to the gunandgearcult.com and pledge your support. We have a bunch of different levels over there. We got a few more people signed up. That was kind of cool. Bandwidth sponsor for this show, of course, is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. They got all kinds of patches and all kinds of crap over there for you to buy. The patch of the month, of course, is the Tree of Liberty. You know, water with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It's pretty cool. I got mine the day before the 4th of July. I thought that was kind of worthwhile. And see, if you are shopping Amazon, of course, you can go to the Firearms Radio link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you are shopping Matador Arms or Amend 2, if you would click through our affiliate link, that would be great also. And now it's time for our buddy Rob to tell us that we're not lawyers.
Oh, I think they know we're lawyers by name. Anybody who's got us confused with lawyers is not a listener for a long time. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And now, here's Chad to talk about the Tasmanian Devil backpack. That's
No,
when I
tiger.
first saw it, I said, "Oh, it's a Tasmanian Devil." No, a tiger.
Yeah.
What's a
well,
Tasmanian tiger?
It's like a striped little weird looking tiger.
Tasmanian Devil's cooler.
Allegedly, it's not extinct.
No,
Fun
Allegedly.
fact.
it might be.
Even though
Supposedly is, but apparently there's one been caught on camera recently. So it's
yeah.
fun little factoid for you.
Fun fact. Okay.
to the point they made a movie about it.
True.
Yes, they did.
But
That don't
this
mean
is
nothing.
not
They're
that
making
kind of
movies about everything. If
This
some
is
goofball
not that type of Tasmanian tiger, though. It is not. It
Well, it's going
is
to take them an hour to get to the review.
with you guys chatting. Yes. I'll be on here all night. But what we have is the Tasmanian Tiger TAC Modular Southwest Pack 25. I don't know what the SW stands for, but basically it is a 25-liter backpack. Tasmanian Tiger makes gear in Germany, I believe, is where it's imported from. I don't know if they have military contracts or what, but it's decent gear. And pretty much ever since I've heard about them, I've like, okay, I've been trying to get something to review that I would actually use, you know, because it's like, yeah, they make a lot of good stuff like big backpacks, you know, plate carriers, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I got some of that. I don't need a huge pack. So when they brought this pack out, I was like, yes, that looks awesome. So of course, now we're where we're at now. When the TAC pack first showed up, I was really impressed with the quality. Looked it over. It's made from 700D Cordura nylon. Tough. I even took a screwdriver, tried to scuff the hell out of it with it, like literally tried to like, besides poke a hole in it, which, you know, you could do, but tried to scuff it up. No luck. I didn't even fray it. You know, and 700D supposedly has the wear resistance of 1,000 dinner but the weight of 500. So you can make that mind up for yourself. The pack does have 3 compartments, technically in a few pockets, but we'll get to that later. 2 of which have lockable YKK zippers. The 2 main compartments actually run the full length or height of the bag. I have it here, but it's kind of hard to show on video because it's such a decent sized pack that you'll have to go look at the pictures. It's just way easier. But the two main compartments, and then the third one is a small one that's kind of on top just for little things like that. Pens, notebooks, glasses, stuff like that. Phone, and of course it has heavily padded straps, stuff like that. It does have, which I just tossed on the floor, a removable hip strap that is also padded, which velcros in, which is pretty cool. I took it out because I'm not carrying that much heavy stuff. Not a huge deal. This thing really shines with the inside of the two main compartments. The front compartment, basically, it unzips completely, can be folded out for ease of access. It's soft, so you could roll it up too if you needed to. And in the flap that folds down, there's also a zippered mesh pocket. Takes up about a third of that whole flap. And then there's some strips of Velcro about 2 inches wide on there to help, or should I say hook and loop, to attach stuff to. Then as you look into it, you'll see that there's a divider that basically makes up the two compartments. And on that, it has 4 strips of also 2-inch wide hook and loop sewn on it. Then the sides of the actual inside of the backpack are lined with loop mole panels, or mole panels, however you want to pronounce it. Which is really nice because you can use them, of course, in a multitude of ways, depending on what you have to attach. The stuff is pretty stiff, so it can support heavier items, if you actually want to use the mole connectors, or if you want to just Velcro stuff to it. And since I mentioned the padded divider, of course, it is also removable. It Velcros in, so you can make the two compartments become one larger compartment if you would like. Now, the second main compartment, which I call the back because it's the side that's against your back, of course, when you're wearing the pack, also folds down completely. And inside this, there's no side mole panels, unless you take the divider out. But on the panel that folds down is the whole thing is that stiff lined mole Velcro panels, which is pretty cool. There is also, I'll get into that later, never mind. I actually attached a holster to it with one of the match point panels they sent me. It worked out pretty well. So there was that. Now, Tasmanian Tiger does supply a little holster with this pack. It's really only good for transportation is what they say, but I found it wasn't really even good for that. So I just it's in one of the pictures, but put your own holster in there. You'll be way happier, because I couldn't really get it to fit and cover the trigger guard of, Glock style pistols. So I was like, nah, this isn't any good. Now, the back support it's got a semi-molded plastic piece in it that slides in. It does have an aluminum spine running down the middle. You can form it a little bit, so depending on how your back forms, but that does add some support to it. It also gives it a little more comfort, because when you pack stuff in there, it's not like stabbing you in the back. It's got a piece of closed cell foam for padding, so that you're not like running directly on the pack. It is what it is. It's not intended to be something, full frame pack or anything. There is also on the back panel, there's the whole back that rests against your back is also padded. It's got some good padding. It is open on the bottom where you would put the hip strap in. And then it is also has a thing at the top so that if you needed to put extra stuff in there, you could. You could, do that if you would like. It is compatible. You could put a bladder in there also, or you could put it inside the pack. And if you put it inside the pack, there are little spots on each side to run the hose through to allow you to attach it. Let's see, I already went over that. The hip strap I mentioned, but it has 2 zipper pockets on it, one on each side. You can fit AR magazines in these sideways if you really wanted to. This hip strap itself, of course, padded. It's about 4 inches wide. It is very comfortable, but like I said earlier, I took it off. The shoulder straps themselves are about 3 inches wide. Very well padded. They have some curve to them around so they won't rub on your neck, which I thought was a nice touch. I've had backpacks that do rub on them. They have quick adjust straps, both top and bottom, so you can kind of firm them up on top and then adjust them on the bottom. The bottom straps do have quick release buckles, so if you need to get it off quickly, that's good. And they also have little slide over elastic covers, so you can keep them from unclasping at the wrong time. Of course, the outside of the pack's pretty generic, exactly like the discreet backpack that this is supposed to be, should be. On each side is just an open pocket with some hook and loop inside, so you could attach something to it, like AR mag carriers if you would like, something like that, and they pretty much will fit most of the way in there, so you wouldn't see them until maybe you put a magazine in them. All the way at the bottom of the pack, on the front outside, is a little zipper, and inside it is an orange panel. Of course, the panel's half covered in loop, so you can put patches, other things on it if you would like. But since it's orange, you can also, it velcros up once you pull it out and stays put to like signal, that, hey, instead of just being all black in this case, it now has a huge orange panel on it, so you can be seen. So maybe if you got lost or want your buddies to actually know where you're at, you can unfold that.
Well, also in a lot of states, I know Florida for one, you have to have 500 square inches of orange during hunting season. So when you put a backpack on over your orange vest, you cover up some of those. So this could add to that.
It could. I mean, it's not 500 inches, but like I believe here that one panel of orange would count as your orange. But, yeah, that's good to know too. They also there is a small Tasmanian Tiger logo that is basically up by one of the carry straps, and that's pretty much the only noticeable feature, as that this is some sort of tactical backpack on it. There is also a tag inside, but until you open it, nobody really knows. There's, on the top and bottom sides, there's some of the little shock cord or paracord attachments. You've probably seen them. You can see them in the pictures on the review. So if you even need to carry more stuff, you can strap stuff to the outside too. And one of my favorite things is there is a carry handle on the top. So like if you're using it at an airport or something, you can, or just moving short distances, you just pick it up and carry it, your 10 feet or whatever you're doing. Let's see. I literally received this, 3 months. I've used it mainly as a range bag to try out. Did throw some clothes in it for a short trip. So, I kind of abused it as best I could, but, besides that, I didn't drag it behind a truck like I know Tony wanted me to. You know, hey, I kind of actually want to use it.
Well, if you're going to drag it behind the truck, you actually have to be attached to it.
Oh, well, in that case, nope, sorry. You know, it is really a good size for traveling or just, you know, wearing on public transportation or something to that effect. Might even be small enough on some airlines to count as a personal item, depending on what airline. It's super comfortable. Like I said, the spine makes it useful for other things. It is a little narrow to fit my soft body armor 3A panel that's made for backpacks into. You can cram it in there, but it's, like I said, it is a little narrow. The mole hook and loop fasteners are awesome. It could be a little heavy for some. It's like 3 3/4 pounds, but when you put it on, you don't really notice it. It's not like super heavy. The way the compartments fold out, you could probably use it as a useful like medical backpack if that was your thing. So I'm pretty pleased with it. It does what I need it to do. It's discreet. Doesn't even, I mean, somebody's wearing it, you're not even going to notice it. So the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame. Of course, it's a discreet duty grade backpack. Target market. Pretty much anybody that needs something to that effect. Features and benefits. Here, probably will tell you a little more. It is a 25-liter backpack. Volume-wise, total backpack carrying system. It has that aluminum spine. The large zip openings, easy access to main compartments. It does have the removable hip belt, which does have zipper pockets. It does have a carry handle. The lockable zippers are nice. The deep top pocket's pretty nice too. The side pockets are nice. It does have a cable port or, you know, drinking port or whatever you want to use them for. The hook and loop panel's awesome. It does have that signal flag. The removable divider is nice. It is 22 inches by 11 inches by 7 inches. So for anybody that actually wanted to know what size it was. You can also get it in olive and coyote. MSRP on this thing is $239. I did find it online for $199.95. And if you compare it to like some of the other pack manufacturers in this market, like Kelty and some of the others, its price range is about the same. I do believe that you do get quality with this, so it's not like it's a terrible price for what you're getting. So for our rating, pros, it is discreet. I really like the size of it. The hook and loop mole panels inside are pretty awesome. I do like the carry handle and, of course, the lockable zippers. Cons, it is still hard to find in the U.S. Removal and installation of the hip strap is kind of a pain in the butt. I didn't say that in the review, but it is. And the supplied holster sucks. But other than that, I still did give it an 8.5, which is great. So that is the Tasmanian Tiger 25-liter tack pack, basically. Any questions, or should we go on to other such items?
I mean, yeah, I guess we should go on to other items because you said it's right in the ballpark of where everything that's American made is.
Right, and it's not made in China. It is made in Germany, which, you know, their cost of making stuff is probably about the same as ours.
Yeah, but then they give you 2 parts of the garbage. I mean, you know, a holster that kind of sucks. and also, I mean, hey, it's cute and all. You have lockable zippers, but it's made of cloth.
Right,
I mean,
right, exactly. You stick a knife in it and cut it. I
have this great paper bag that you can put a padlock on.
That's right. I mean,
actually, that'd be a pretty nice backpack to go backpacking with if you
like
I've
a
got a
date
friend of mine.
trip.
She likes to go to Europe with literally just a backpack and go backpacking for 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah,
she would use that.
Something like that, and they make various other sizes. Like I think their next size up is like a 30-liter, and so it's slightly larger.
Mhm.
But yeah, stuff like that.
The military ruined any concept of backpacking for me.
Well, yeah, I can believe
Yep.
that.
100%.
So
That
it's just
just
Rob and I.
isn't. It's like, wow, want to go backpacking? No,
It was
no.
like,
You probably say the same thing about camping, right?
Yep,
probably. It was
yep.
like,
No, Tony's like, yeah, I'll go camping, but I'm taking a 35-foot Class A motorhome.
right. Like years ago, I did one of those like 5K mud races, and
Why?
it was fun. But one of my good friends, he's like, I did enough of that in the military. Why do that? I'm like, hey, I didn't, so figure I might as
Yeah,
well punish myself somehow.
yeah. Over at the job, they say if you drop the keys in the prison that you have to do push-ups. Somebody threw me a set of keys. I missed. They were like, "Oh, you got to do push-ups." I was like, "See me circa 88, 93. I did enough."
Well, you should have said, okay, but I'm gonna fall on you when I do one.
Nope. That's in my rear view. You want to see them? Look it up. Google it. I don't know.
That's right. So I guess since we're done with that, we'll get into the product spotlight and discussion, which probably will go fairly quickly because it's stuff. First up, Franklin Armory brought out their BFS 322-C1, which means nothing to you. It's their 1022 binary trigger. MSRP is 3 times what I bought my first 1022 for, and so it is $299.99.
Mm.
If that, Sony's like, meh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. But, if you know anything about they pretty much make a lot of binary triggers. Well, finally, they have one that I'm a little bit interested in. Not that I need it, but it's something that for 1022, okay, I get it. Trigger operation, of course, it has safe, semi, and binary on the little selector switch. Safe, of course, won't fire. Semis, just like it does anyway. And then the binary, it fires on the pull and the release of the trigger. If you hold the trigger back, you can cancel out that second one by moving it to the out of the binary mode and back to the normal mode or safety. They, of course, works with most 1022s. It's a lot of fun. I can say that. Of course, you can't have it in a bunch of different states, which kind of sucks. Looks like installation, if you've ever had a 1022 trigger apart, you can probably figure it out. Basically, with a 1022, it's going to be the closest thing you can probably get to full auto. And once you get used to binary triggers, you can run them pretty fast. That's pretty much about all I have to say about it. I'm trying to think. I think Tony may have too. I think I shot it at SHOT Show, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of neat. And then I shot one of their regular ones. I was like, nah, I'll stick with the 22. So that is that. It is made in America. Actually, if everything goes well, I may be making a trip down to the same city they are in, but I don't know if I'm going to stop and see them unless they want me to.
Well,
So,
I look
Tony.
at something like this as it's a range toy, of course. But for $299,
It's an
I'm
expensive range toy.
I'm like, okay, that's just a part, not a whole gun. But the cool part is that it will fit most 1022s. But my question is this, because like Chad said, some people have had their 1022s 20, 30 years. This will add a new level of fun, throw in some BX25 magazines. If you live in a free state, buy it if you live in a free state, because I think they had like 6 places, including, of course, New Jersey, that you can have this in. But I'm like, how much will you have $299 worth of fun with this? Or within the year where you just go, I guess I'll sell this because I don't shoot that fast. I mean, it's cool for a minute, like full auto, but really you're not going to do any work with it. And I don't know if you can use it in the 22, the Steel Challenge competitions.
Yeah, I kind of doubt you would be able to use it in any form of competition unless it's some outlaw stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So now what are you doing?
yeah, exactly. I guess I'll add Zane back in so he can trash it.
I mean,
Or yeah, he doesn't care.
yeah, it's again, like Tony said, it's a range toy. I mean, if you want
An
to,
expensive range toy.
sure, yeah, it costs more than a gun, but sure, I like what Franklin Armor's doing just because they're giving the middle finger to everybody. But I just am not interested personally. You know, nothing. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's not for me.
Yeah, yeah, in my case I'm actually spoiled because I don't need this because I do have a full auto 22. So, this is kind of useless to me. And it is fun, and these are fun range toys. I mean, I suppose if you're shooting at like jackrabbits or something, it might be kind of fun too, but who knows?
Hey, didn't Ruger have a pretty much a 10-22 and 44 Magnum called a Deer Slayer?
They did
Had what, 6 rounds in it?
size, yeah, something like that.
Put this trigger on that. Now we got a part.
Ooh. Well,
It's just more expensive of the same thing, but it's just funny.
yeah, exactly.
Now it's a sub gun.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, shooting a 44 mag or. Yep. Rob, you got anything?
No, it looks cool, but I just
Okay.
noticed that I can't have it in Florida. I'm guessing after
Yeah,
that, was it Sandy Hook that happened a couple years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, I
they
saw that
can-
there's like 11 states you can't have it in. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
And that's
that
weird
seems
because
kind of-
that's strange to me. I don't think this is actually banned in Florida because they literally the wording was only for bump stocks. There was talk about binary triggers getting added, but I'm pretty sure the wording didn't include it. I don't know. I'd have to reread the wording.
But I mean, the bottom line is,
yeah.
for $300, do you need this, or how fast can you pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Hey, range toy. You got the money. It's a range toy.
Exactly.
And truthfully, a lot of dudes aren't like us, and they go to the range whenever they have relatives or friends out, like 3 times a year. And yeah, this is a party for 3 times a year. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yep. 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 And of course, now I will say that the last product we're going to talk about would make this kind of fun too. But of course, we're not going to get there. That was the Franklin Armory binary trigger for your 1022. Next up, Strike Industries has released finally their 80% compact pistol frame. MSRP is $145.95. Basically, this is a polymer 80 frame. They won't argue that, but it is not quite the same. They have some little redesigns here and there. Their gas pedal is a little different. It's got different texturing on it. Got different like thumb grooves, finger grooves, but basically, it is what it is. And it has, I think it's got an over travel stop in it. Yeah, an adjustable over travel stop. If I'm reading this right. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I actually felt one of the prototypes. I liked it. I liked how it felt in my hand better. I don't know. The grip is more stippled than it is textured, kind of. I mean, you kind of have to see it to see, but it is still 80%. So depending on what state you live in, you can have it sent directly to your door. The pre-order, of course, is only for the 19 size compact frame in black. But, it's just another one on the market. Like I said, I like it a little better than the Polymer 80s. The price is a few bucks more, but other than that, not really. They estimate shipping at the end of August. So even if you order it, it's still a month and a half out. I don't know what you guys have to say about it, but go right ahead. And
That
I mean,
looks interesting.
it's a polymer 80. It has a lot of cuts. I mean, it's a polymer 80 that Strike Industries played around with and SI'd it up. Um, I think it's cool. I wish I could have it in my state. If you live in one of the states that can have a polymer 80, you can have 80%. I have no idea why you aren't doing this all the time. I
yeah,
would not have anything registered with the government if I had an opportunity.
the,
Just
and
that.
the other thing too with them is they already make like slides and a bunch of other parts, barrels for Gen 3 Glocks. So essentially, you could probably get a lot, if not all, of the parts you needed to finish this pistol from them if you just wanted to buy one-stop shopping, so to speak.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I put the picture up that I had. I usually don't do that with 80%.
Right,
And I was like, pretty much you can buy this whole thing from SI.
right.
And why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think their whole complete version with their slide and stuff makes a decent looking pistol. So yeah,
Well, it makes a good looking pistol. And the other thing is this. I mean, again, it's about taking advantage of sales and shipping and all that stuff when you're making these purchases. And if you have an ability to get quality items and not have to pay for shipping or other stuff where you get discounts because you bought them all in the same place, man, right on.
yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes shipping is like will kill you, but if you're buying a whole bunch of parts from various different places, like Tony said in this case, buy them all from them and away you go. So that's
So
something.
this would be like a Glock 17 style
19,
frame?
19
19?
19.
size.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. Gen 3, 19. So you need to buy one and take your Dremel tool out and drill a couple holes and machine off some stuff, and away you go.
So what I don't get about these is it seems like every time you buy the frame, you have to buy another one of those blocks. You drill it out. The
No,
template
no.
blocks.
On this one, it comes with the tooling, so to speak, the little red jig.
Right, but what I think would be cool
Hey,
for
watch
these
it
is
now.
if you could buy subsequent, just the actual, what do you call it, the grip, and then you don't need to buy another one of those red.
Well, they
things.
include it because they're just plastic, and they're basically they make them a one-time use, and
Okay.
it's included in the price. It's not you just
I-
throw it away when you're done.
I know in the beginning they would sell metal jigs.
Yes.
I don't know who else is doing it or if they still doing it or if they stopped. But again, you're gonna have to do this a couple times probably to get it right. And how much are they? How much do they run?
$145 is
Okay, that's a little more expensive than some.
right. Like the polymer 80s, I think are what 140.
Yeah,
I mean,
You can pick them up on sale left and right for under 100.
right.
There you go.
Exactly. And when these hit this, when they get these and go on sale, you can probably pick them up. I mean, that's MSRP, so we always know how that goes.
and some of these companies also replace them at least once for you. I don't know if they do, but I'm like, yo, put some work in. There is no reason for the government to know what you have.
The thing is with these polymer 80s type pistol frames, they are so easy to do that it is really, if you take your time, you're not going to mess it up. I mean, literally, you're drilling some holes, machining off some stuff, literally with a Dremel tool, and that's it. And if you have the parts you like your slide and stuff, you can like Dremel out it and see if it's enough, and if it's not, then you take it apart and do a little more, and so you can, just take your time, and most people can do it, in my opinion. So that was the Strike Industries 80% compact pistol frame. Next up is something to use with your Franklin Armory binary trigger. Timber Creek, the good old company south of me, we've talked about a lot of their stuff. They just brought out their Jax target. This is something even Tony could afford. MSRP is a whole $9.99. It is a self-healing kind of flipper target, but it comes in two pieces, and you put them together, hit the range, it's self-healing target to some extent. They say thousands of shots. It probably depends on what you're shooting it with. They do rate it up to 50 BMG. I don't know exactly what would happen if you hit it with 50 BMG, but I don't think it's going to last thousands of shots. If you could even, your pocketbook can afford that many 50 BMG shots. It does say it's ideal for rimfire and pistol calibers. Looks like it's kind of a reddish color, maybe a little orange in it. It's basically just your kind of flipper target, but for $10, hey, why not just give yourself another target to shoot at with your binary 1022 trigger? That's about all I have to say on it. Tony?
Yeah, it's target. Shoot it. It self-heals. I don't know. I learned something, though. Go ahead.
They're fun for. Go ahead, Tony.
I think he was breaking up.
Zane, nobody was talking.
Oh, my bad. I thought Tony was talking. They're fun for bouncing around the range and tracking moving targets and stuff. They're fun. Like the $10. There.
Exactly.
But what I did learn is sometimes if you're just using the self-healing target by itself and not having it flip it around, it's kind of anticlimactic, especially for new shooters, because you don't know if you hit it or not. What we ended up doing was putting one of those shoot and see targets on it, and at least you hit it. That's what we did when we had new shooters, introducing them using 22s and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and like we said, it's not really intended for that. It's intended to be put together and flip around. So yeah, exactly. And like we all said, for $10, hey, when I see one in the store, I'll probably buy one just to try it out.
And truthfully, Timber Creek actually helped us out with 2A4E, and I mean, I'll give props. I mean, hey, go buy it.
Yeah. Yep. So that's done with our products for tonight, but I stuck in a couple questions, and then one I can't answer, but maybe Tony can. It's under the listener feedback. First question is from John D. I have a question, as I am relatively new to rifles. I would like to know if there's any law about converting a rifle to a pistol, or if once it's bought as a rifle, does it need to remain with a stock? Thanks, guys. Love the show. And I can answer this one because I know that you can't go from a rifle to a pistol and then back to a rifle. You can go from a pistol to a rifle and then back to a pistol. Don't ask me why. It makes no sense whatsoever.
It's the federal law.
Yep. So if you have a rifle, it has to remain a rifle. That's pretty much the extent of it.
Unless you want to convert it from a rifle to a short-barreled rifle.
And then you have to pay your tax stamp and wait for it.
Yeah, then you can do that with a tax stamp.
Exactly. I don't know if anybody else really has anything to add on that question.
If it's a pistol first, it can go to a rifle and then back to a pistol.
Yes,
but
that's what he said.
It starts life as a rifle. It is a rifle.
And if you buy like an AR receiver, just the lower, a lot of times it is not, depending on your state, it's bought as a receiver. So it's neither a pistol nor rifle. So your best bet is always build it into a pistol first.
Yes. Build it as a pistol first.
And you got to make sure you check out how they transfer it to you, because they might transfer it to you as a rifle. And if they transfer you a strip lower AR-15 receiver as a rifle, you got to build that out as a rifle.
As a rifle, exactly.
Welcome to New Jersey.
Yeah. Exactly. So we have another question from Dustin T. It says, what safes would you recommend for home and travel? Looking for a budget-friendly model. Outside of work, I carry, but don't have anything for the times my wife drags me to those undesirable places, the ones that say no weapons. And Tony's showing us a lower receiver as opposed to helping us answer this question.
All right.
being the expert.
Buy safe. All right.
I have
Go ahead.
I have one I got from Amazon. I can't remember the brand, but just type in lockbox.
Yeah.
It's like $20. and I just cable it to the seat. It's got a built-in cable. I just cable it to where the seat bolts into the car. Put the gun in it, lock it. You know, if I'm going somewhere that has a metal detector, or of course somewhere it would be a violation of the law to carry, obviously I would lock my gun in that, because your car's not a holster. So
Right.
yeah, but you can get them for like $20 on Amazon. Just get a lockbox.
Okay, I understand when you're getting a lockbox on Amazon, that's exactly what you're getting. You're not getting a safe, you're getting a lockbox. But what I've discovered, don't get biometric. That's bullshit.
No.
Oh, wow, sorry, didn't mean to say a curse word, but that's crap. They've insisted at one of the places I've done work to get biometrics, and I told them it does not work 100%. And then all of a sudden they're using it with the key override. They're not even using the biometric part. They're just using the key. Biometrics cost a lot and they do not work 100%. Do not waste your money on them. The technology is not there yet. Now, if you want to use some kind of proximity chip and something like that, that's good if you are a gear geek, but still a good old-fashioned key will work every time. Just keep the keyway clear. Don't have your kids stuffing fries in it and stuff. But outside of that, you can use it. That's for your vehicle. For your home, spend money on a good safe. All right? Spend money on a solid safe.
I think we also should differentiate between storage and quick access. Like what I'm talking about is literally for storage. It's not for grabbing a gun in an emergency.
Correct. And I
and
think
same thing with safes in your house, unless right. And that's kind of where I thought he was going with it. So
right.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, for quick access, holster on the plate. But yeah, for the house, get a good safe. I think mine's a Century, which is meh. All right, they'll work.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got one
Century
of those.
is okay. Step it up to Guardall, American Lock, things like that. They make quality safes about breaking in and resist thieves and drilling and things like that. But you're gonna have to spend money on those. So again, there's a difference between quick access for security and securing your stuff, especially heirloom quality stuff. You might want to lock it up in a safe that is more tamper-proof than normal. And as far as fireproofing, I just want to throw just little tidbits out there. Don't fall for the okey doke. Over an hour, no one's home burns for more than an hour before the fire department gets there, for the most part. So there's
Unless you live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but again, it's not going to be a working fire for an hour. But if you feel comfortable with that, go ahead. But I think that's the maximum you should get. And actually, I think that's what you should go for, period, is an hour fireproofing. And after that, most of it's not necessary.
I was talking to a safe dealer a couple years ago, and he told me that if you look at most safes when they sell them to you and they say it's got the UL stamp on it, that UL stamp applies to the combination lock and not the safe.
Not true.
Because UL charges a crap ton of money to certify the safe for an hour fireproofing, fire resistance, and most gun safe manufacturers will take it to some other third-party vendor, and they'll say, "We want you to certify this safe for an hour," and they'll go, "Okay." So what they'll do is they'll either start off with the fire really, really low for 45 minutes and crank it up for the last 10 minutes, or they'll douse the inside with water. So, it lasted for an hour at 1,200 degrees, but there was like 15 gallons of water in there or something.
He didn't lie to you. And that's when you find an affordable fireproof safe that has the hour thing. That's exactly what they did. And that's why you have to look for UL fire rated safes, because that's what they tested.
And those are going to be pricey.
And those, it comes out to like $1 a pound on some of those things. But we're talking about, 1,000-pound safes, because that fireproofing is heavy. I mean, it's kind of sort of wet concrete.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like damp concrete. And they also eventually dry out and lose their fireproofing.
But yeah.
Yeah, and you also the way fires work, even if your house is on fire for an hour, it doesn't start at 1,200 degrees. The fire starts at its inception stage somewhere, and then builds throughout the house. And the only reason I have a Century Save is because the price was right on it. It was Tony's favorite price. It was $3.99. So hey,
Yeah.
but yeah, I am looking to upgrade. But yeah, the whole as long as you live in an area where there's a fire department, yeah, hours plenty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, the only thing I is just like Zane, I've got one of those little gun vault. The only thing is I don't have a key. I've got a little spin dial, a 3-digit combo.
That's
And
fine too.
that is just if I'm going into a bank or I'm going in somewhere where I can't take the gun with me,
Yep.
lock it up, boom, put it in
Post
there, go in
office.
there, come out, you know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's storage. It's storage.
What you talk about banks? Banks aren't off limits in Florida.
Post
not.
office.
No,
I'm
sir.
Post
saying-
Well,
offices
I'm just gonna mention post office because that's the only way that I can
Post
think of.
offices.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yep. Exactly.
That's federal.
Okay. So hopefully we answered those. Excuse me. I'm dying here, so don't worry.
You want me to read the next one?
It's just listener feedback. We're done with the questions for now. I mean, they're leftovers from the Q&A show last week. I'm just gonna put a couple in as we go until we're done with them.
Sweet.
Nice.
But I figure might as well answer all the questions. I mean, no reason not to. These are just iTunes reviews. It says Mike 111121 gave us 5 stars. Gun and Gear, excellent podcast, entertaining while you learn about guns and gear. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Yep. And then John D from
Mike.
Panama City said, good listen. He also gave us 5 stars. I listen to these guys while I'm at work. They're fun and give the occasional review on some things I'd consider buying. Overall, they do give an honest opinion on products they go over, and that's what's important. Keep up the great content. And we thank you both for those. We thank you for the questions, on and on. And now Tony can be famous.
Oh, thank you. Here's what's going on with the 2A 4E diversity shoots. Spoke to the owner of Gun for Hire. It is really up in the air because, and now that we having another spike in COVID cases, this clown that runs our state may shut us down again. So we're on thin ice in Jersey as far as range opening up and hosting events because they're limited to 25% capacity. So it's kind of hard to have one of my diversity shoots going and keep your full staff there if we're bringing in 40 people. You know what I mean? It's like very difficult to still run a business with us taking up a significant portion of your capacity. So I'm talking to someone in PA. As soon as we get some clearance, I may have to just run the 2A 4E diversity shoots out of Pennsylvania for the next little while to see what's happening. So thanks everybody for supporting us. We have some cool giveaways on our Patreon page. I'm going to start just working with it more only because I think that's a way to keep in contact with the people that are supporting us. And I want to show you my appreciation. We're going to have some cool giveaways. We're giving away from $1 up to $19.99. It's going to get one giveaway a month, and then $20 and above patrons going to give another giveaway. And $20 and above, I think it's just going to include FFLs, because I got a bunch of lower receivers, and hopefully we can put it together with some other stuff, with help from companies. That if you don't get a whole rifle, you'll get a significant portion of a rifle or firearm. That's what we're working on. So, thanks a lot. Got any questions? Follow me on Instagram at Simon Says Train. Follow me on Facebook at The Second Is For Everyone. What else? Sorry, Instagram. Oh, and become a patron. You can go to 2A4E podcast over on patreon.com. I still got the GoFundMe, still got the PayPal if you want to donate those ways. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And you can still buy our t-shirts, the 2A4E t-shirts on diversityshoot.com. And we also have the Planet Lovetron swag. So giving us money right now really helps because it builds up a stockpile so I can do other things or multiple things. Because I don't feel that the PA in this COVID thing, we're probably not going to get a lot of butts and seats, but I still think it's important to host them. And when you guys donate to me, at least it keeps the stress out. I'm like, okay, a lot of people didn't come, but I'm not stressed about that. You know, I'm not trying to make the money up that I spend that day on food and ammo and all that stuff that day. So that's why I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome. So, send questions, comments, or feedback to us at gungearreview@gmail.com. You can pledge your support for us at gunandgearcult.com. I do know that we have stickers coming in. They're finally done. So I got to get those in and then I can ship them out to our patrons. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Tell your friends about us. You know, all the usual stuff that we're supposed to say. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And as always, thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Peace. Do, do, do.